Hi, I'm Tony with Hapco. I'm going to show you a couple of quick fixes for your Rion or any hand welder typically. I'm going to start with showing you how to change your element. This is probably one of the most common items to go in a hand welder. When your welder will turn on but won't create heat, it is usually your element. So that is a simple fix of 4 screws, removing your heat nozzle. I use a T20, 4 screws, pull it off. This is my mica tube. This protects your element. This is your washer. This is your element. This is what produces all your heat. It plugs simply in with 2 prongs. That is how easy it is to pull out your element. You see that our BAKs have the metal inserts so that as you put these screws in and out, you don't strip them out or fracture the plastic. Other hand welders, if they do not have the metal inserts and you over tighten these, you'll fracture the plastic, then your whole housing is bad. Now, the reason that a lot of these elements go starts on this end, typically with this filter. This is one of the most critical parts to make sure your hand welder keeps running well. You can pop it off, it just snaps in. Clean it with a air hose or a can of air, and then within here are all the other workings that you'll want to clean out as well. They tend to build up with dirt and dust that comes from the roof or whatever application you happen to be in. I just pull this band, 3 more screws. These are very short threaded screws because they're right around the turbine. T20 again. Slide my handle back, blow this out with air, get this all clean, because then this is where all your intake, your air goes into your turbines. In here is a turbine assembly just like this. This creates your airflow. It spins, pushes the air across your element, out your heater tube and nozzle. If you turn on your hand welder and you simply don't have power, most common cause for that is simply in your cord. This cord goes under a lot of tension and gets pressed and kinked and curved all throughout a day's, week's work, and over time these cords tend to fracture a wire somewhere in there. So for that you end up needing a T10, and you would just remove 2 screws here with the T10 and this upper clamp housing. This housing is used to make sure that we distribute the pressure, that when we're on the roof and we're pulling with our hand, that this cord tension doesn't hit your joint, and it actually is all taken up by the clamp here on the end, as well as our solid washer flange that is right here. So this flange also then catches in here and relieves that tension. Now for my cord, I'd then take a T20 again, undo these 2 screws, pull my cord out. I'd snip it about 6 inches back, rescore it, run them back through here. It's very simple. It's a 10-minute fix. So I'll just feed it back into my wire clamps here. Grab my T20, refasten my wires in, get that good connection. This pulls back into its place. T10 clamp over the top. Once that's all fastened back in place, you just slide your handle back on. You'll line it up with the hole with your potentiometer on the back. You have to remember that you have a cord groove on the back here. You have a cord groove. This is for your cord slot. Hole for your potentiometer. You get them lined up. Your holes should be lined up. Put your screws back in. And never forget to put your filter back in place, which actually goes over the top of the potentiometer and around the base of the cord. Snaps into place and you are ready to go back to work. All these parts, whether it's the filter, the mica tube, the element, the nozzles, cords, are all available at most of our roofing distributors. They're called wear parts, and they'd have them available there for you to buy. Fix your tool within a couple hours rather than worry about sending it in and having it fixed and being down for a couple days.